What's going on, everybody? My name's Matt Giordano, and we are back with the Giordano update. So, leading up to the draft, the Nets and the Hornets traded Dwight Howard and Timothy Mozgov along with two second rounders. That move created two max free agent spots next summer for the Nets after they bought out Dwight Howard's contract. So, the big question would be would the Nets be able to attract top level free agents next summer? I think that they would have a shot at a guy like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie has said that he is not committing to Boston past this year. He has expressed that he wants to play in New York, and he has preferred the Knicks. But with the disarray that the Knicks have been in for years, I think if the Nets could approach him with we could sign you, you could be in New York, and then they could bring in his good friend Jimmy Butler, who's another free agent next summer. I think that's something that could happen, and I think that's something you have to look at heading into next summer and next summer's free agency crop. Um, but draft night came and went, and I think the biggest takeaway was the Trae Young and Doncic trade. Um, Looking at who won, I would honestly say that the Hawks won that deal. The Mavs moved up and were able to get Luka Doncic, and the Hawks got Trae Young and were able to take Kevin Huerter later in the round, who's a really good shooter out of Maryland. I just don't see Doncic being this all-star player that everybody is trying to make him out to be. I think he's going to be a really good scorer, and I think he's going to be a good player, but I don't know if he's ever going to make an all-star game. So for that, I think the extra first rounder that Atlanta got easily won them this deal. And now that they have Young, is it time for them to move on from Dennis Schroeder? And I feel like it is. They want to give Young minutes. They want to get him time. And I think having Schroeder there is going to hold Young back from being able to reach his full potential. So I think Atlanta will have to look and moving him, maybe for more draft assets, maybe for another player to play alongside him. But I do think that is coming. Um, and the Cavs had the eighth overall pick, and some thought that they would use that pick, maybe Kevin Love, and try to make a deal for somebody to try to convince LeBron to stay. But instead, they took Colin Sexton with that pick. But there are still reports out there that they are looking to trade for point guard Kemba Walker. And would Kemba be enough to convince LeBron to stay in Cleveland? And I don't think he would be. Kemba's a really good point guard, but with LeBron having options like teaming up with Paul George in LA or Philly, or going to Houston with James Harden and CP3, I just don't see Kemba Walker and Kevin Love being the pieces that LeBron comes back to in Cleveland. Um, Owner Dan Gilbert also said that he thinks the Cavs could win a championship without LeBron. Are they sending messages to him that they don't want him to stay? And I think that's part of it. I think Dan Gilbert's very prideful in himself, and I think that he likes to make it seem like he was just as part of this four straight year title run as LeBron was. But in reality, LeBron carried this past team to the NBA Finals like no player I've ever seen. So I think they are kind of starting to send subtle messages that they're done, and I think LeBron's probably done there as well. And I think the biggest steal of the draft was the Nuggets with the 14th pick taking Michael Porter Jr. I know he has a lot of injury issues and he probably won't play this year, but if you look at a guy like Joel Embiid in Philadelphia, he didn't really play his first few years there, and he had injury problems coming in. But if you can let him sit and let him learn and let him get healthy, I think Michael Porter is probably the best player in this draft, and I think that the Nuggets got an absolute steal with him at 14. And so the draft came and went, and no LiAngelo Ball was taken, and the Lakers said that he will not be on their summer league team this year. So what does the future hold for LiAngelo? Personally, I don't know if he'll ever get a shot in the league. He's not as good as Lonzo, and LeVar talks way too much. And I don't know if teams are willing to deal with LeVar and the big baller brand for a kid like LiAngelo. Lonzo is a different kind of player. He's a culture changer. Um, LiAngelo isn't that kind of guy, so I see it hard for a team to take a chance on him. To have to deal with LeVar talking and saying that he should be getting more minutes, and that if you added Zoe to that team, that they would win a championship. And I think there's too much noise surrounding LiAngelo and not enough talent for teams to really take a chance on him. Thank you guys for listening. I'll be back next week with an NBA free agency preview. Thanks, guys.